asked you to leave.
I pay rent. I'm your landlord.
I asked you to leave.
You can just call me Lord, though.
Yeah, sure. Give me your thoughts, because I put a post up on the Book of Face, and of course I got ripped for it. But Little League baseball game.
Okay.
Did you see the kid that got hit in the head?
Yes.
Okay. He goes down to first base. The pitcher is on the mound crying.
Yes.
I can I know what my dad would have done. A, if I was the pitcher.
Okay.
B, if I was the batter.
Okay.
I'm curious of your thoughts on that whole thing.
Well, in the movie A League of Their Own, which is a women's softball league, baseball league
Which I never saw.
Was filmed in my hometown of Evansville, Indiana, at Bossy Field. My grandmother and my mother were extras in the movie.
Nobody cares.
Tom Hanks said it best: there is no crying in baseball.
I posted on the Book of Face, and there's a lot of people from my neighborhood. Okay, as a matter of fact, one happens to even be standing here from back in the day, back in our Little League days, and the big rivalry that our team had with Hood's Dairy. Okay, if Hood's Dairy, and the first name that comes to noun, arguably he was one of the better players in the league. I still remember his name. I don't know your name, but I remember Steve Townsend's name. If Steve Townsend was the batter, and our pitcher drilled him in the head, and then he ran to first base, and then he walked over to hug the crying pitcher. First, the crying pitcher would get the crap kicked out of him for sure. But if there was no timeout called, Steve Townsend would have been tagged out.
Okay.
So my question was there a timeout? And people are like, oh, he went to comfort the pitcher. I don't care.
Yeah, is the ball still in play? I mean, there's a pitcher's hand if the ball's on the mound, or if
I don't know if there's pitcher's hand in baseball.
Pitcher's hand. That's a thing. It's an unwritten rule.
It doesn't.
Look it up.
It doesn't matter where the ball is.
Well, yeah, it has to be in the infield. You can't tag anybody when the ball's in the infield.
What? What is this, kickball?
Yeah, pretty much.
This isn't kickball.
That's how we play in the streets.
This is the fixed Little League.
I don't know how you play in your Hoodsville. What's the name of the place? Hoods?
No, it was Hood's Dairy. We played at Meadowlawn Little League.
Well, my hood, you don't come through that without a permission slip.
Okay.
Because Don Mattingly is on first.
Okay. Whatever.
Hey, you don't want to tussle with my Little League days. I'll bring Don Mattingly and Andy Bettis. What was his name? Andy something? Pitcher for the Cardinals.
You don't even know his name?
All
right. So, in other words, you don't have a thought on the whole thing?
I just think,
Sorry.
It's reflection of today's compassion. I like the sportsmanship. I like the fact that
I'm okay with compassion. First of all, why are you crying because you drilled a guy in the head?
Well, they're Little League. They're Little League. They're not professional athletes. They're not college players. So I think when you get to a certain level of competition, then no matter what happens, you say, hey, look, they're the enemy. That's the wrong team. That's the wrong colors on my shirt. I don't care what happens to that person. Because in the major leagues, they pluck you for retaliation because some other guy flipped the bat and then he earlier.
If I was the batter and I got hit in the head like that and I rolled around like I just got shot by a machine gun, my dad would have beat my you-know-what.
I mean, look, LeBron does a flop and no one even touched him.
Well, that's...
Like, actually, the kid got hit in the head with the baseball and little LeBron fell down.
Yeah. I agree with that. All right, one that I wanted to bring up last week, and I know this is going to be stupid no matter what you say. It's going to be stupid.
Why do you say that?
Because everything you say is dumb.
Well, I love all the loyalty today, but you don't have to do that.
So a Gator, Anthony Richardson,
okay, is
changing his logo because he's always gone by
Gator bites.
AR-15.
Oh, AR-15.
He wears a 15. Now, I've been told that his logo had something to do with either a gun or something like a gun.
Yeah.
Take the gun off. But I don't know why you are going to no longer use AR-15. Your name is Anthony Richardson, and you wear number 15.
Yeah, I like AR-15.
Yeah, but he changed it.
Well, because he probably got a lot of backlash.
I'm sure he did.
And unless you're on a superstar level like a McGregor, where you control the terms of your endorsements and contracts, but if you're working your way up through college and trying to build yourself into like a marketable player and somebody who wants endorsements and make it to the league and hopefully get that big payday, your image is important. And if people see you as controversial or a negative, and it holds you back from sponsorships, you're hurting yourself.
I get that.
Especially with the new NIL deal.
I get that. Then what I would do, I think I would do this. I say I would do it, but you don't really know. It's those hypothetical things. I would change my number.
AR-17?
Whatever.
Okay.
Why? I'm going to continue to use my initials. It's not like his name is Bob Johnson and you're going with AR-15.
Yeah.
Go to whatever. Change to a different number.
I was going to change
Shut up.
my fighting name to Holy Hand Grenade.
Okay, I turned him off so that nobody had to deal with it.
Holy
You can
Hand
keep
Grenade
talking.
of Antioch.
You can keep talking. Your mic's off so nobody has to hear it.
No, you don't know the Monty Python reference?
Did you watch the Ric Flair match?
I did not.
It was so bad,
Worse than Tito Chuck?
but so cool.
Okay.
He tried.
What about Chuck limping to the ring?
Can we finish
I'm
with
just
this one
saying,
first?
but which would you rather see?
The Ric Flair.
Okay.
He did his face plant. He was a bloody mess. It was awful.
The real
Undertaker
blood?
was there. Well, it came out of his head, I think.
Do they still cut themselves with the little razors?
I don't think they do anymore, but they did.
Okay.
You know, Dusty and Rick were really good at that. But, you know, he was an absolute bloody mess. Don't know if he really needed that, but it was cool to watch. Undertaker was there. Bret Hart was there. There was one more. I don't remember who it was. There was a third big name. Cactus Jack.
Okay.
Mick Foley.
Yeah.
It was cool. I'm glad that I remembered to go over and watch it.
Could you done without seeing it?
Yeah, probably.
Because the memories of him in his heyday are way better than.
Way better, but it doesn't change what I remember. You know, that was, you know, my teenage, that was my, you know, 20s, all that kind of stuff, watching Ric Flair, 30s. So it doesn't, I mean, we've been with him. That's sometimes sad, just watching him walk around. That still doesn't change the memory of him being the greatest performer of all time. People say Hogan's bigger, known more, but
Sure.
I don't think anybody would even you, would say that Hulk Hogan was a better in-ring performer than Ric Flair.
But like do certain fights change your perception or memories of a fight? Like do seeing Chuck Liddell's last fight or Hoist Gracie against Matt Hughes, does it change that legacy? Just like Anderson Silva versus Izzy or
No, to me it doesn't, but what it does is it could affect their legacy in people that didn't go through that entire thing. You know, some of these young people who don't even know that Anderson Silva was a champion.
True.
So what you do is you look at, you know, like we just did with Sam Alvey.
Yeah.
You know, we looked I looked at his wins, losses, L. I remember when he did have some wins, but the younger generation is going to have absolutely no idea that Sam Alvey was ever competitive. Because he wasn't since 2016.
Yeah.
So no, to me, what I watched of Ric Flair was tough to watch and still pretty cool at the same time, that he did it. And when it's all said and done, and this is my opinion, Ric Flair didn't go and do this for you, for the fans.
Sure.
He really did it for him.
Right. He wrote his own exit. That's his own.
That everybody paid stupid money
Yeah.
to go see. You know, they did these like posters signed by the four. And then let's be honest, the other guy that wrestled against Ric Flair was Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
Not a bum.
Right.
You know, Flair's partner, his son-in-law, not a bum.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, a big name. He was in the WWE, then went over to AEW. And then I don't know if you saw the whole thing with the other guy, I forget his name, but he was the one that did the woo-off with Ric Flair.
Oh, okay.
Sounds like him, and they're wooing back and forth. I did happen to see a little clip on Ric Flair, and he said that he is never prepared when he goes to the ring. He goes, because I can't remember. I'm not going to remember pay-per-view, what town, where I'm at, what to do, who to do. He goes, I feed off the crowd.
Yeah.
The only thing that he knew he was going to do was the woo-woo.
Well, that's kind of how I treat this show. I mean,
Like you don't care.
I just show up, and I don't really know where it's going to go. I don't know which highway we're going to drive down together, but I just know that I'm always ready.
Well, you're not always ready, but neither one of us know what road we're going.
That's true.
You know, I mean, and that's, you know, I've had people, I remember I had Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul Jabar. So he wanted to promote something, and his PR people reached out to me. I said, Kareem Abdul Jabbar, absolutely. which will tie me into the next thing I do want to bring up with you. What are your 10 questions? I don't know. I have no idea my second question.
Yeah.
I know what I'm going to start with, and then depending on how you answer it, what direction you go, like I thought I was going to do a few things, and you've thrown out some stupidity, which has taken me down a different road that I didn't want to do. Speaking of Kareem Abdul Jabar,
And Lakers.
so ex-NBA player Mike Woodson
Okay.
has come out and agreed with Magic Johnson that the NBA should retire the number 6 in honor of Bill Russell.
Okay. The whole league should retire number 6, or just the Celtics?
That's what I said. The whole league should retire the number 6.
That's just silly.
I am 1,000% against it.
That's awful.
No, it is awful. I mean, I'm pretty sure that his number is in the... If you've never been to the Garden, back in the day when I was in the military and we would go to the Garden, I have never been... Let me think about it. I believe I have never been to a cooler building. And you know me, I don't walk around buildings.
Right.
I walked around Fenway once. I've never been anywhere at the Trop. All these stadiums I go to, I don't walk around and check them out. Sitting in the Boston Garden with about 173 flags that are hanging from the rafters, because you have the Celtics, you have the Bruins, all the retired numbers, all the championships, everything that was there was really pretty cool. Bill Russell's number was in Boston.
Right.
Why would the Memphis Grizzlies retire his number?
Yeah, it's silly.
And I don't mean this to be disrespectful, but if you retire the number 6 in Philadelphia, it's not for Russell, it's for Dr. J.
Yeah.
If it's not already retired.
Yeah, it has to.
The 42 in baseball, I get, but outside of that, why would a Laker even want to retire a Celtic? That was their...
And what you talking about the Lakers coming out of the break, Vanessa Bryant, Kobe's widow, is going to court today over a deputy who took photos of the helicopter crash at the scene and allegedly showed it to patrons at a bar and showed it to fire personnel. And what is your thoughts on that whole situation?
I will address it when I return. You may be with me, you may not when we return. This is Knockout Radio, brought to you by 8 Men Strong and Staff Zone. We'll be right back.